the greatest gym guy highlight of the NFL Combine winds up being something called the 225-pound bench press. Different kind of bench press. Instead of trying to max out, you're trying to do as many reps as you can at 225. It's awesome to watch, it's awesome to think about, and a lot of guys love to train it. I love to train it. That's why we have Travell Gaines here from Athletic Gains, and you've trained everybody from Myles Garrett to Kayvon Thibodeau, all these guys who are doing 25, 30, 40 reps. I'm not gonna do that many today, just because I don't want to show anybody up. But how do we get there? What's it like to train for the 225-pound bench press? What can I do to get better at it?
You know, the biggest thing about the 225 bench press is, you're right, it's the premier exercise that everybody wants to watch. But I think the biggest thing about it is understanding that you're going to transfer your strength into endurance. By doing that, you have to work on a lot of single arm stuff, core stability, but you can't forget the back. The back is also so important. So the technique, core stability, the explosiveness, the conditioning, and making sure your back is really conditioned. That's the really big thing for the 225 test.
It's such a different test too, because when I think about the bench press, I think when a lot of guys think about the bench press in the gym, it's like, how heavy can I go for one rep? And this is multiple reps at 225. So it is a little bit more of an endurance event. And I guess stability, fatigue, there's a lot more mental to it too, right?
Absolutely, it's all mental, because you got to think about it. Anybody can do good when you're by yourself. But when you have the scouts, the GMs, the cameras, everybody's there, that's when it really comes into play.
So you've got to lock in everything. You've got to lock in your stability. You've got to understand your setup. We're going to take you through the 225-pound bench press setup, and then we're going to take you through 3 exercises that can make your 225-pound bench press better. Let's get to it. So before we get into the drills, we're gonna go over the bench press setup. And I think this is so important for guys too, because I see a lot of guys go in and on their big lifts, whether it's bench, deadlift, squat, they're not intentional. That leads to a lot of energy leaks and just a lot of imprecise form that's not gonna help them get their reps. So what do we wanna do when we set up for the bench press and we're really focusing on trying to bang out this 225?
Man, great questions. I get this all the time. So Ev, go ahead and get in there and get set. So what you want to do is you want to get to your comfort level. Get familiar with the bench, make the bench yours, you own this bench. So you want to get into a good position. A lot of people are different. Some people like their head way at the top part of the bench. Some people like it more down a little bit. It's really your preference. Now with your hand placement, it's really all depending on who you are. A lot of guys with a lot of longer arms, they like a wider bench. Guys with a shorter arms, almost like a shorter grip on their bench. The biggest thing that you also want to understand is make sure you have a good flat base, okay? We don't want to see your feet flailing everywhere and coming off the ground. So you still want to be able to push through your legs while keeping your butt on the bench, because if your butt comes off the bench, the rep doesn't count. I've had guys in the years who thought they did 25, 30 reps, but the next thing you know, they take away 7 of those reps because their butt slightly came off the pad. So just make sure you keep a good base with your butt on the pad, engage your core, fill your chest up with air, and rep it out. Let's get to work.
Can you talk about when I'm getting ready to pick this weight up? How am I creating tension? I guess I've got to really squeeze my glutes and also kind of like get that big breath, right?
Yeah, you said it right there. Again, filling your chest up with air, really squeezing your glutes, engaging everything you got, staying stable, staying tight, staying focused, and really just not thinking about the weight, but just thinking about keeping it moving steady. Just keeping it moving steady. Once
I start to fatigue, I feel like that's when a lot of guys, their butts will wind up sky high near the end. What are some tricks that I can use to kind of make sure that my butt, as I fatigue, that doesn't happen?
That's a great question. The best thing you can do is when you start to get fatigued is make sure your butt stays on the ground and focus on singles. Go 1 rep at a time. Stay strong, stay tight, come down, bang out a rep. Stay strong, stay tight, bang out a rep. That's the biggest thing you can do when you start to get fatigued.
Okay, let's see how many we can get here, but keep in mind, I did train chest yesterday.
Good, nice. Good. 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 Good, Eb. Like it. I like it. Here we go. Push, push, push. Push, push. Good. I'm gonna grab it. There you go. Perfect. Good job, man.
Well, 7 reps. I did keep my butt on the bench for all of them, but let's work on getting that number up.
Let's go do it.
So now we're on to our first drill, and this is all about shoulder stability. How are we gonna attack it?
We're gonna do the incline, okay? Dumbbell neutral grip alternate press. Just really work on stability, because it really comes in when the guys start to get fatigued. You gotta really stay stable, stay tight, depending on your core strength, your shoulder strength, to really bring out those last few reps at the 225.
Exactly, because my arms start shaking once I get near the end, and this is gonna help with that.
Big
also
time.
gonna help with control. Why are we going neutral grip?
The biggest thing for neutral grip because it also translates onto the field, okay? When you're playing football, if your hands are ever in this motion, you're in trouble. You're probably holding or getting pushed on your back. But a lot of times when you're blocking, your hands are coming from here. So we want to build power from here, which also translates to here as well too for the bench press.
Exactly, so it's a bench press prepper, but it's also prepping us for the field too.
Absolutely.
Let's do it.
Let's go.
How many reps am I doing?
We're gonna do 10 reps total, alternating with doubles in between. Here we go, let's press. Good, one, perfect. Other arm, let's get a double. There we go. Perfect, good, perfect. Good, keep pressing. There we go. That's perfect. Good, one more time through. Good. Last 2 reps, push through it, push. And push, one more. Good work right there, I love it, I love it. We getting swole today, baby.
You can feel it too, the shoulder stability near the end, but it gets you there faster, so I get why it works for training.
Absolutely.
I don't have to pile up 50 reps of 225 to feel it. I'm feeling it early and I have to control it. I love it.
I love it, man, you look good too.
How often are we doing that?
We're gonna do that once a week, okay? 3 sets, 10 reps in between there.
What you got next? Let's move on.
Let's go.
So we've gone through the bench press setup. You've taken me through an exercise that's gonna help me with my shoulder stability. What are we doing here at the Bosu Ball?
Right now we're gonna work on core strength. Again, we worked on shoulder stability. Let's work on our core strength right now because remember, shoulders, core, back, very important to doing a really good 225 bench press test.
Exactly, I guess core too, even with just driving up from the legs, right?
Absolutely.
So what am I doing here?
So what you wanna do is you wanna get in a good push-up position. I want your toes tucked back, okay? Nice straight back. I want your hands right there perfectly on each handle, all right? That's perfect right there, shoulders directly over your hands. You're gonna push down and explode back up. Boom. Make sure you're engaging your core every time. Right there, that's perfect, that's perfect. Good, give me 10 reps. Perfect, perfect. Little wiggle, little stability. Good. There you go, Ab. Work, work. 3 more reps. 2, 1, hold the top. Hold, 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 hold. That's perfect, perfect, perfect. And relax.
So are you kind of going at people's abs when they're doing that to kind of make sure that they're contracted?
Every time, and then on top of that, when we go to a phase 2, we'll put a little ball right there and you can't let the ball move. So there's different degrees of difficulty and make sure they're keeping that core nice and tight.
And you can do this with anything, right? Like it's just about maintaining that stability and forcing our core to be in control.
That's what it's all about.
Yeah, I like this one too, because this is something people can do with body weight. Like you don't need a full gym to do this. This is an exercise that everybody can get after. What kind of sets and reps are you doing and how often are you doing this with guys?
I like to do 3 sets, 10 reps of this, superset in between with something heavy.
Yeah, and again, this is an exercise anybody can do, an easier exercise, and it's something I don't think of. I'm used to going heavy, but thinking about that core stability is gonna help a lot too.
Absolutely.
Travell, you've already shown me a lot. You wanna cover one more thing here, power. How are we doing that? Why is it important?
Power is really important because again, the 3 things for the bench, we have shoulder stability, core strength, and back strength. So right here is a little different. We're gonna work on some back strength and also some rotational strength as well, because remember, you can get a little fidgety and get a little unstable while you're on the bench. So make sure you have great rotational strength, make sure you're really tight in your core, make sure you have great back strength. It's really good having high reps at 225.
And we're doing this not on a normal cable machine, something called a Kaiser machine. So you've got this air resistance. I know NFL guys love training on that. Why is that?
The Kaiser machines is awesome because the great part about it is it really helps with your stability because you can adjust the weight at any time. Those cables really give a lot of give. You can create tension on it really fast. It's a great machine.
So talk me through what I'm doing here. What am I doing?
So we're gonna do some split squat stance. We're gonna go to a Kaiser push pull. Okay, this is great for back strength, for rotational strength. I want to see you doing 10 reps on each side. Switch the legs and go the other way. Here we go. Good, like it. There we go, good force. Good, good, speed. There you go, stay tight, stay tight. Good, good, 2 more. Good, perfect.
So I feel that all over. It took a lot of energy out of me too, but you keep telling me to be fast because that's what it's about, right?
It's all about those fast bursts of movement. So again, we're working on our explosiveness, but also the longevity of the cardio that we're working with while doing this workout.
My heart is still beating from that. And then the other thing I guess we're working too, we're getting some pull in there while I'm pushing. And I know you're saying that's important for the bench press too. I need a strong back when I'm doing it.
You gotta have a strong back in the bench press. There's no way around that.
And we've got to keep the reps low so we can be powerful. Where am I putting this in my workouts? I know you said 3 sets, like 8 to 10. How often am I training this?
We're gonna do this twice a week, okay? On your upper push-pull days, which should be on a Monday and a Thursday, which is great for combine training.
So that was 3 drills that will help your 225-pound bench press. I'm really looking forward to taking advantage of those as well as your setup tips. Thank you for that, Travell. Next year, I will get a lot more reps when we test.
Remember you said that. I'm gonna hold you to it.
We're gonna write it down. We'll test next year.